Hello, everyone. It's Michael Jaco with Unleashing Intuition Secrets. So we're seeing I can't say it uh, like at the top where you put what the show's about. I can put it in the intro. But the Nazis, right? The Nazis are losing everywhere. We know the Nazis didn't lose World War II. They just went everywhere, right? They made us think that they lost because they left Germany, but they're already spread all over the world, way before World War II started, right? And they infiltrated pretty much everything. So we're seeing NATO, which is basically a Nazi organization, was created by the Nazis of Germany to go against the Soviet Union, Russia. And they said that the Soviet Union was the greatest threat. So everybody had to get together and work together to make sure they didn't invade Europe. And eventually they'd invade the rest of the world if they weren't stopped in Europe. Of course, they, gobbled up several countries, Poland, Czechoslovakia, many others. And they basically were stopped out. Now, Soviet Union went away. So for NATO to still exist it should be gone. There's no reason for NATO to still be there unless it's a Nazi organization to take over the world. All right. So when you understand that, you begin to understand how the US needs to go see ya. All right. See ya, wouldn't want to be ya, NATO, because Europe is also going away. So NATO's going away, European Union's going away. Europe as a whole is going to be there, but as an organization, it's collapsing. Right? It's a communist organization that they were supposedly fighting the Soviet Union, which they have now become. And of course, the U.S. was thanks to the liberals, the Democrat Confederates. They have been trying to create another Nazi state here in America, but that has been foiled, right? That's being pushed back on. So we're seeing liberal big cities in the U.S., which is most of them, almost all big cities in the U.S., and even little cities are run by Democrats, liberals. How did that ever happen? Right? The Confederates of, so the Confederate, we've talked, a lot of people talk about how we're going to do a civil war. I've said for 6 years, no, we are not. But the big cities will be destroyed because that's where the liberal Confederate Nazis are, right? In the big cities. And I've been saying, get out of the big cities because they will be destroyed, many of them, right? Just like we're seeing in Ukraine. Now, Ukraine and Russia would never, like Trump said, would never have gone to war if he had been there, because the U.S., being the central place for the Nazis until President Trump came in, and now they're being decimated and destroyed. They have, pushed the agenda around the world using the U.S. military. Now, the U.S. military is beginning to come back home where we can fight the war that's going to happen in our big cities. All right. So the big cities of the U.S. will be battlegrounds. All right. So no, not an overall, because you won't have all of California or all of Illinois or all of New York states becoming, Confederates and starting civil war. No, it's just those big cities, just the big cities. All right. And big cities are being infiltrated by the federal government. We're seeing President Trump and Abraham Lincoln parallels quite a bit. Now, Abraham Lincoln had to go after the press because it was liberal. It was Confederate. He had to go and shut it down for quite a bit. Now President Trump is letting it, basically destroy itself. It's becoming irrelevant. The big media press, right? Those of us that have been revealing on our end are pretty much, where most people watch at this point. Not a lot of Americans watch news to begin with. So when you see, oh, Mike, you're only getting like 30, 40, 50,000. Sometimes if you're lucky, you get 100,000 if you get a good guest on. Yeah, but, it gets shared. It's also a lot of views over on my Rumble channel. And it gets shared quite a bit. So on a really good day, I'll have more people watch my show than watch CNN all day long. So that's how things have changed, right? And there's other influencers out there that have really, really big shows. They get a million views on some of their content. I used to. I'm coming back, right? So they came back with free speech. So free speech Mike is back. So I'm revealing like I used to. So it's great. It'll build. I got 104,000. It's cranking up slowly but surely, but eventually it'll start to crank faster and faster and go to the moon. So in the meantime, we continue to share things that are uncomfortable for a lot of people, like the big cities are controlled by communist Nazis, right? And they have to be, taken down. So we have one of the biggest communist Nazis, which will be Mamdani in New York City soon, right? So President Trump is sending federal troops in. Kind of sounds like Civil War, doesn't it? Right. All right. So he's I said, God, this is so fantastic. It's preemptive. It's a preemptive strike, so it can lessen the overall, severity. And if you waited till the city becomes, a cesspool to a great extent, then it's much harder to take it down. Now, another thing that's happening that's basically going to make it a lot easier to, maybe maintain some of these cities so they're not destroyed. We hope that none of them are destroyed, but at this point, it still looks like there will be destruction in a lot of U.S. Major cities that are run by Democrats. Democrat hellholes, right? So cesspools. Miami, now a Democrat hellhole. It really always was. I went to Miami a couple of years ago, and it was looking like a Democrat city. I was like, what? And the Rhino Republican that was in charge is like, people crapping on the streets, just like in other Democrat cities. I was like, what the heck? It's like this town needs an enema, right? So it's going to get one. It's going to get one way or the other. So I've said Miami would probably go down. And a lot of people are like, that's like, it's a red state. No, it's not completely a red state because you have Miami. And you have some other Democrat little dwellings as well in Florida. Tampa is pretty Democratic, not democratic, but Democrat, right? So you'll probably see some of these cities, have some problems, right? Even though in the surrounding areas there's lots of conservative Republicans and good Republicans. All right. So I'm not just being carte blanche when I say Republicans are the best. No, they're not. There are some Democrats that are pretty good. So, and some of you are probably listening, like, don't piss me off, Mike. I'll unsubscribe. It's like we want you guys to listen to, because I know you guys do. I know you guys do, because you're Americans first, right? You're not a Democrat party. You're not a Republican party. You're not an independent party. You're American. So we want Americans to work together to overcome this Trump derangement, MK Ultra syndrome, right? It's an MK Ultra. We need to call it what it is. People that have Trump derangement are MK Ultra, right? Just like many people were during the COVID lie, the COVID lockdown lie, and then the COVID, you got to get this shot. And remember how it's like you got to get a shot, or everybody, you're going to die. And if you haven't gotten the shot and you're around people that have gotten the shot, they're in danger because, like, what? It was MK Ultra on a massive scale. MK Ultra on a massive scale. So it was kind of funny because Juan 07, I don't know if you can see it. No, it's not over there where you can see it. But we have a Trump MAGA Magador blanket. It's so cozy. You can get that on the Jennifer Mack store. But on there, he's fighting the bull, and it's very cool. But Juan said the other day, Trump's not doing any more bullshit. He's going to basically, call a emergency, election emergency, and so we're going to overcome a lot of the Democrat hellholes and so forth with fair elections, which will negate a lot of the Democrat control and people that have never been voted into office. Probably one of those is Newsom, Gavin Newsom, and then the mayor of LA and the mayor of just about every major Democrat city. But we know a lot of you are watching. I see almost consistently some of the highest views are from Chicago, New York, LA. So it's, I can bang on the Democrats, but you guys keep coming in, so I guess it's not all Democrats, but it's got to be some of them that are watching. So the Trump derangement syndrome with the blanket, Juan was talking about how this one woman was given one of the blankets by someone, and she had Trump's head upside down, so it was down, so she refused to place it up because it's better when it's the other way. But anyway, so eventually she got to the point where she got it in the right side, and it was nice and warm and comfy for her. And then Trump grew on her. She started to like Trump. So it could be that easy, guys. The Trump derangement syndrome that's out there. She got like a nice warm blanket. Now, I don't know, you can't see it right now, but if the sun sets, you might be able to start to see out there over Lake Tahoe all day long. We have had a blanket of cloud. It's all over the water. It's very, very impressive. Hopefully, when the sun sets, you guys will be able to see it. But it's glaring at the angle it's at right now, so you can't see it. So, blankets, warm blankets. But I don't think that one that's out there on Lake Tahoe is warm, but it is a blanket. All right, a blanket of cloud. So yeah, the states are good. All 50 states are good, but big cities that are Democrat controlled, guys. And a lot of them are really not Democrat controlled. So Mamdani, like I was talking about, is, he goes to visit Trump, and then he leaves, and Trump is like, they had a nice talk or whatever. So it said nice things about Mamdani. And then Mamdani leaves and says, oh, he's a Nazi. All right. So Nazis always do that. They point the finger and call other people Nazis, but they are the true Nazis. All right. We know that. So Mamdani is a Nazi, and he's going to destroy New York City if he gets a chance. Now, I think that Trump coming in heavy in a lot of these cities like Chicago, New York City, and so forth, and taking away, getting rid of the people like Minnesota, where you have Ilhan Omar and her Somali Nazis. All right, I think I just saw where they have 6 new Boeing jets that are going to be dedicated to getting some of these Nazis that are here in America, some of these illegal aliens, and start to get them out faster. Because who's voting these people in? Yeah, illegal aliens, Nazis, right? So if you get them out, one, they won't be able to vote these other Nazis in. Two, they won't fight us. They won't destroy our cities. And they won't, keep sucking American income that, we pay in taxes. They have been doing that. And it's like every day in Minnesota, they find something else, some other scheme of stealing money from taxpayers there in Minnesota. So these guys are getting exported out of here very quickly, as fast as the Trump administration can, for all those reasons I outlined. Now, the cartels that are in the cities and are down into Central and South America, Mexico, Colombia, of course, Venezuela, and it hasn't been said yet, but I promise you, Trump is going to start to call out Brazil soon. All right. So I called out all those states down in Central and South America, and I said that we were going to go after them. And Trump just recently said that. Right. He didn't say Brazil, but he said specifically Colombia. Now, Colombia is a very, and I'll talk about that in a minute. I have a little news article on that. But Colombia, the president there, actually came up to America and supported what was it? A Palestinian event, and it was saying that American troops shouldn't obey President Trump. Even a leader of another country coming to America and saying bullshit like that, right? So I've said that when I was at SEAL Team 6, and we're looking at, God, it's like 30 years ago. Let me think. Back in the late 80s. So late 80s. So 90. So 30 years. 35 years. I'm an old guy. So see, I got gray mustache now. Got a little bit of dark still in there. Still got some, right? Whatever. So it is something we talked about 35 years ago, Venezuela. So we knew all the way back then that it was going to be a target, right? So we were planning for that a long time ago. And I'm sure the planning, came, him and Hall up and down, depending on what was going on in the rest of the world, of course. When the guys were going in Afghanistan, Iraq, and other places, Yemen, quietly, right? But I saw some of them there. So there was, when I was there with the CIA, there are a lot of, those guys in the U.S., I think, right? I'm just saying I'm thinking, right? But, we trained to actually fight terrorists here in the United States. So we know that we have terrorists in the United States. Before I left the SEAL teams in 2020, no, it wasn't that long ago. It was back in 2000. Geez, dude. So back in 2000 is when I left, 2001, sometime after 9/11. I did my part. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go over here to the CIA and do more, because they weren't really using us at the time. So I was like, I want to be more proactive. And that was another dream of mine, to be like a James Bond guy, have the 007, which was 00 was license to kill. So I had the license to kill, working in the CIA. It was cool. All right. So, so before I left, we were already seeing that Hamas terrorist units, groups were infiltrating down into Central and South America. And we're becoming part of the cartels, and running the cartels, and working their way into the governments, right? And we knew that they would eventually start to make their way into the United States. Now, this is all the way back in 2000, right? all the way in 2000. So crazy that, you know, we have a lot of this stuff that we knew 25 years ago, 35 years ago, Venezuela, 25 years ago, that we were going to be invaded eventually, that we needed to start to plan for that. And I think the planning has gone well. So Trump is implementing the plans, part of the initial plans to start to get these people out. All right. So under the cover of ICE, of course, who's pushing back on ICE? It's the Democrats. Democrats are pushing back on ICE. So this is obviously a very significant problem because they are going to you know, cause, you know, devastation in our cities eventually, and it's coming. All right, atmospheric rivers. So I said when I did my my yearly you know, predictions, I said over a year ago that around this time frame there would be massive atmospheric rivers coming across into the Western United States. So we're already starting to see them. I think as winter starts to kick in, it's going to be a lot of snow that will be coming, and it will be coming all the way down California, all the way down. Not only as we're seeing right now, it's focused right now in Washington and Oregon, and it's mostly just water because the temperatures are kind of warm here right now. We're going to see massive, multiple, and I predicted this, atmospheric rivers. So it seems to be coming true, right? Yeah, Patrick, your skiing's rained out right now, so yeah, it's a bummer. So let's look at some of this. So it was predicted, you know, several days ago that there was going to be a problem. If you look at 4 days ago here, Pacific Northwest Atmospheric River forecast to produce record flooding. So they knew this 4 days ago. So it's not stopping. So we're going to look at some of this. Let's look at this one, see if it's got Washington State flooding intensifies, prompting rescues and evacuations. All right, who is this? Whatever, it's Washington Post or Washington, whatever, doesn't want me to go in. So, all right, so I'm not going to give you my money, no. So I have other things I subscribe to. All right, so there is lots of video that's out there right now. We're going to look at a little bit of it here right now. So lots of crazy flooding, and I guess we're just getting a little piece of it now, but we're going to get a lot more of this going forward. So as you can see, I mean, this water is all the way up to the rooftops in a lot of these homes. If they're 2-story or if they're a little bit higher up, it's not so bad. But the rivers have overflowed. I don't know how many rivers. I think I saw somewhere it was like 17 different rivers have overflowed, something crazy. So it's record flooding. Some areas, I guess like right here, they've been able to, it hasn't actually gone over the banks, but it's very close. Of course, there's cars and everything that have been abandoned. People trying to navigate through there, and that doesn't always work out so well. So lots of pictures of epic flooding. It's going over a lot of the banks and so forth. So it will continue for a little bit. Of course, it'll go down, and then there'll be more atmospheric rivers coming. Some of them will be, you'll see large amounts of snow out my window coming down heavily within the next month or so. All right, so it is going to be very significant. And even now, before we even have winter, we're still like 10 days away from winter. But there's massive winter storms sweeping across the U.S.
Until Monday, with these temperatures coming through, still bring you -20, even up to -30 or 40-degree wind chills with it. Even the negative temperatures you're not going to get out of for your daily highs and your daily lows over here across the Midwest and the Great Lakes. Now we have this clipper that's coming through. It is coming from Alberta, Canada, and is bringing 2 to 6 inches right across this purple line right here. But also with all the precipitation and the temperatures coming through, if you are in any of this brown area right here, you need to watch out for chances for ice on the roads because of the temperatures coming. Plus what's happening over in the Northwest. This is your river gauges over here. You can see this is all in major flood stage. All of these pink gauges right here. Now, this is the atmospheric river that hit across Washington. Tens of thousands of people have been evacuated. There's been rescues been happening all night long and all day. More is coming for next week, and it is going to pivot from Washington and go towards Oregon, down California. Another atmospheric river that's about to hit. Now, I have important information for y'all over.
All right. So just like I said, they're going to keep coming. Wave after wave after wave. I see at least 4 that are going to hit my area, but there could be as many as 6. And every time they come in, they can bring, 18, 24 feet of snow, each one of these. And I think that some of these will bring even more. If that had been a snow event up there, it would have been like the skiers would have been like in heaven, but the amount of snow that would have built up so fast, it would have been, collapsed a lot of stuff, and that's coming. So temperature is going to start to drop, and as these atmospheric rivers keep coming, it's going to dump a lot of snow. Now, this will bring a lot. Now, I said this as well. I remember I was in Vegas like maybe a month or so ago, and I got that the reservoirs, because they're really, really low around Vegas. The Hoover Dam or whatever is like, really, really low. The water that's in there. I think it's going to fill up. I think it's going to fill up this year. All right. With all the rain, all the snow, by next year, the spring, late spring, I think it's going to be full. So reservoirs will be full to overflowing. So they'll still be probably, I don't know, maybe they're going to like take down California. I don't know, but until they take down all the deep state guys, the Nazis, we're going to continue to have these fires, right? We'll get record amounts of rain and snow here in California this year, and it'll fill up all the reservoirs, everything. We're going to have plenty of power because the dams are going to be like, worrying and like putting out all that energy, because it'd be like hammering it. The gates are going to be open, so you get a lot of electricity out there, but we'll still get fires, and that's from these clowns. Now, if you look at a lot, I've talked about this in other shows in the past. Maybe I should do another show about it and bring up all these monuments that are out there. If you look throughout Arizona, New Mexico, you look at the Devil's Tower in Wyoming, those are trees. Those are former trees. And so the fallen angels, the giants and so forth, that came down, and we've seen this on Avatar, where they go in, they basically tell us what they do. So they've gone in, these mining companies, and they want to take down the Navis, the Navis home, and basically cut down this massive tree. That's what they did here in throughout the world, guys. There's evidence of these monuments and so forth that are trees, right? Petrified wood. They have the same patterns as petrified trees. So these monuments that are all over the world are basically trees. All right. So imagine how massive those trees were, the coverage that they had. Now, in some areas, you can see where the trees fell, and you can see the branches that basically petrified into the landscape. And there's giants. Yes. So I've been looking at this stuff for a long time. I've had a lot of very prominent people. One was a former captain in the Navy that went, deep down the rabbit hole, had these events where he would show all this stuff, and he would show where giants lay down and they're in the rock. And according to some people, these giants can wake back up. I'm like, wow, okay. So there's a lot of stuff that's out there. So who has done this? Well, that would be the reptilians that are running the show. Those are the Nazis. I keep saying the liberals that have been brainwashed by them are part of their unwitting army. Right. So there's a lot to overcome. Once we take that down, then we can start to rebuild some of these forests again, because they're slowly but surely taking down all of our forests. All right. They came into America, and America at one time had unbelievably massive trees all across. Where I'm at Lake Tahoe, they basically stripped all of Lake Tahoe. It had massive sugar pines. There's still some, I guess, they didn't cut, or there's some that were young trees back then, and now they're older trees, and they're just absolutely incredibly massive. I've hiked the Pacific Crest Trail. I've seen some of these trails seen some of these trees in the back trails away from where they could actually harvest them and bring them in to use them. And they are tremendous trees back there, right? Of course, they have in California, they've tried to burn them all out. They burnt the forest of California, massive. They're like, oh no, we're just going to let it go natural. And we'll have, and that's the way it's supposed to be. No, it was never that way. The forests all the way across America were all managed by the Native Americans. So they kept the tree population very good. They would come in and they would farm an area, and then they burn it, and they go to another area and farm it and burn it. And they had it where, I remember there was one story where when some of the people that came from Europe and they're riding their horses, so they could ride the horses because the Native Americans would trim the branches all the way up to a certain level, and they could ride their horses in some areas, and they wouldn't hit a branch. Right? They just ride amongst the trees, and it'd be real easy. So, and squirrels could. There's one story my Native American friends would tell me where a squirrel could start right along the coast, where the big trees were, on the coast of anywhere along the East Coast. A squirrel could start in one of the trees and go all the way to the Mississippi River and never touch the ground. That is long gone, right? So the evil ones have come in and have raped this beautiful world on a massive scale, and they're going to pay for that. Right. So they're very evil. They're trying to take down humanity. They've done this over and over again, the floods and all that stuff. We've all and they start these, they actually start a lot of these pandemics, right? They start them. They've been doing it for centuries, thousands of years. Right. So we'll have to, really push back on this. So the devil has tricks. Yeah, Lucifer, the fallen angel, and his fallen angels that came with him, the giants and so forth. So they have to be, a lot of them have to be defeated. A lot of them have been defeated. The shape-shifting reptilians. You watch any of David Icke's information. He's been talking about the shape-shifting reptilians. All right, so they're the spawn of the reptilians, who from my understanding, the reptilians have been pushed off of Earth and now we just have to deal with their progeny. All right, so they mated with the women of Earth and created these little reptile little bastards. Right, so they have to be cleaned out, and so that's where we're at. That's out there, I know, for a lot of people, but you don't have to get involved if you don't understand. There's plenty of us that understand, and we're involved. So, but that doesn't mean you just like shut your mind down. You still have to be aware of what's going on around you. Some of you have probably seen them, but your mind just can't make that connection, and you just like, boop, boop. Like you don't even what it's not. You don't even go there. All right. So some of us see these people, these shape-shifting reptiles, these hybrids. So the problems will continue until everybody is aware of who the problem people are, right? Major escalation between the U.S. and Venezuela after U.S. seizes oil tanker.
We begin with a major escalation between the U.S. and Venezuela. The U.S. seized a large oil tanker off the coast of the South American country. Attorney General Pam Bondi shared this video on social media. You'll see U.S. forces.
All right, so that's Navy SEALs right there. Navy SEALs do the fast roping. Now, I said that U.S. Coast Guard probably is doing some of the boarding. I believe that is the case, but this is Navy SEALs. Navy SEALs that are fast roping in and going in to clear. Probably not SEAL Team 6 guys. All right, so and this is broad daylight. I used to do this at night. It's like pretty hairy. All right, so and sometimes people get injured, so that's not fun. But you train hard, and then when you actually go into combat, like these guys, I guess you kind of call it combat action. I'm sure they're getting combat pay for this, but there's really no threat, right? So you train hard for the threats, and then when you actually go into battle, a lot of times it's super easy, like I've said.
Sailing down from helicopters, then searching the vessel. Bondi wrote the U.S. had sanctioned the tanker due to its, quote, involvement in an illicit oil shipping network supporting foreign terrorist organizations, end quote. President Trump first announced the seizure yesterday.
We've just seized a tanker on the coast of Venezuela, large tanker, very large. It was seized for a very good reason. Well, I guess so. We're going to keep the...
CBS News correspondent Natalie Brand kicks us off from the White House this hour. Natalie, good.
Ooh, we're going to keep the oil. All right, so that paid for that mission. All right, so some people in the chat were saying like, oh, now we're pirates. Of course, that's CBS, and they have a certain clientele that watch them. So not surprising to me. They'll probably be in those cities that will be burning soon. But Trump warns Colombian President Gustavo Petro is going to be next in drug trafficking crackdown. So again, I said this was coming. It's not hard to see, all right? And so President Donald Trump told reporters Wednesday that Colombian President Gustavo Petro is on the list of drug trafficking crackdown in Latin America. Now, he is up for basically he's probably not going to make re-election, although, Smartmatic is all down, and, it's in Venezuela. That's one of the reasons why we're going to Venezuela, Smartmatic election fraud systems. So a lot of places in South America and Central America are using Smartmatic, and their elections are compromised. All right, so Trump has primarily focused his attention on combating the illicit drug trade flowing from Venezuela into the big cities of the United States where the Democrats are, right? But Trump has floated expanding his strikes to Mexico and Colombia. Of course, we've talked about Mexico is going to get it for a while. I have said that Colombia is going to get it. So Colombia is producing a lot of drugs, Trump said. So Petro better wise up, or he'll be next. He'll be next soon. I hope he's listening. He's going to be next. So I think that's not an idle threat. Despite the threats, Trump might not need to follow through if tensions don't escalate further, because Petro Petro, whatever. It's term limited, and the country will elect a new leader in May. So this is basically a warning to who may be replacing him. You better not be like him or worse. The Treasury Department has already sanctioned Petro and his family, which stems from an executive order that targets people involved in the global drug trade. Colombia is considered the top producer and exporter of cocaine, which is often purchased by Mexican drug cartels. All right. So where does it say? Oh, here it is. It says United States heated up over tensions between the United States and Colombia heated up over Petro's appearance at a pro-Palestinian. So Hamas, like I said, that was infiltrating, we knew this 25 years ago, down into South America. Pro-Palestinian demonstration in Manhattan. So he's in Manhattan. Who's going to be in Manhattan soon? All right. So Hamas loving mayor, Mamdani. And he got elected by people who were mostly non-Americans. Hello. Right. So where he urged, so he was there, like I said earlier, he was there and he urged U.S. soldiers to not follow Trump's order. So they're all in on trying to cause problems, guys. They're all in on it. It's out of control. And they need to be spanked. They need to be spanked pretty hard, actually. They need a belt spanking, right? The switch is not going to be good enough. They need a belt, right? And can you guys see this? See the smoke on the water? Smoke on the water. Fire in the sky. Dun, 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 dun. Old rock and roll song. So that is basically this clouds over Lake Tahoe right there, right? So you look back over my left shoulder, right? Back over my LifeWave shoulder. So, you guys like the tree? Isn't that beautiful? And we have it on the table. Can't see the lights on that one yet, but we have garlands everywhere. We have lots of stuff, lots of festive Christmas stuff, right? Hope you guys like it. Deep Purple, that's right, Kevin. You know your rock and roller. He's a rock and roller. Smoke on the water. Classic stuff. So I was just recently in Vegas. Did a LifeWave event down in Scottsdale. So I'm coming through. I'm like, I'm gonna stop in Vegas. Instead of driving 12 hours, I'm gonna take it halfway. And I stayed at the Trump Hotel. So I'm looking at, the events that are coming, and like the Eagles are going to be there in Vegas playing. And who was that? That the one group. What's that one group? Let's get the guy that what was it? What's the song that he sings? Guns N' Roses. So you guys are like, just play one tune and I'll figure it. So name that tune. It's like, God, every song he did, it was like, sweet child of mine. So it's Axl Rose. They're very good. David, you're like you're rock and roll Hall of Famer. You know it all. Good job. All right. So what else? We have, like I said, Nato is going to go bye-bye. It's going to go bye-bye, at least for the United States, because we would see peace if it was not for Europe right now, because they're sabotaging every time Trump comes up with a plan. Europe comes in and talks to their little Nazi boy Zelensky, and they tell him no to Trump, and we'll support you. Well, they don't have a lot of money left, and they don't have a lot of arms left, and they can't produce a lot of arms. So I don't know what NATO's thinking about. I don't know what those Europeans are thinking about. They keep saying they're going to we're going to go to war, and they're warning their populations that war is coming. You're going to go to war with what? All right. You're a bunch of communist a-holes. You've decimated your populations. You brought in immigrants on a massive scale that don't work, and you're basically giving all your money to them. You stopped cheap Russian oil from coming in, so your economy's collapsed on a massive scale. And so you're going to it's typical liberal mentality. They have this pie in the sky ideal that will never achieve reality, right? We all have seen that from them for a long time, right? You look at all these cities and it's like, oh, we're going to have the best city. And they're all like shitholes. It's like shitholes. They've been Democrat for a long time. And if they've been Democrat in those cities for a long time, they are shitholes, period, right? We all know it. We all know it. Let's not mess around here, right? So let's not let the liberal idiots kid themselves anymore. Let's clue them up. So Representative Massey introduces bill for U.S. to dump Cold War relic NATO. Brilliant, right? And I guess there's someone in the Senate that's going to do the same. Who is it? If you could snap your fingers and get out of NATO today, would you? Senator Mike Lee, Republican of Utah, he's the guy that's pushing it, going to push forward the bill in the Senate, asking a post on X. And Massey said, why, yes, right? Massey, he's all happy. He's got a young wife now. All right, good job. All right, so Trump gave him shit. She's like, geez, that was fast after your wife died. He's one to talk, right? Under pressure from Trump, NATO members agreed this year to gradually raise their defense spending to 5%. So we're still paying most of the spend. We're doing most of the spending for NATO. It's bullshit, right? And of course, under the Biden administration, we sent, I say, $1 trillion. I think maybe even more than $1 trillion, maybe $1.5 trillion over there to Ukraine. I think they money laundered it big time over there. And of course, a lot of people got a little cut of that. Of course, Zelensky, his wife's got $1 million car. Zelensky's got homes all over the place. And one of those is in it's Miami or something. It's like, so he's not going to live long. I promise you. If he makes it to the end of the war, then if and when, well, there will be a when. When the war's over and he tries to escape, he will be found. He will be made to go bye-bye, right? So he's a dead man walking, no question, right? So failed U.S. plan to rebuild Afghanistan cost $145 billion, with hundreds of millions going to the Taliban, right? So Jojo Biden, who was never in office as a president, he was executed long before that. For nearly 2 decades, the U.S. government spent a breathtaking $145 billion on a failed plan to rebuild Afghanistan. So the Russians failed, and then we're like, oh, we'll be much better. No, we failed too. They're stupid. I could have told them. So we basically defeated the Taliban in a week, whatever. We had the guys on the horseback that basically were calling in, airstrikes. That was the Green Beret guys. Good job. And one of them, that was the leader, I guess the captain or whatever it was, that was the head of that group. He went on to become the Secretary of Defense, Secretary of War now, of course. But Chris something, I think. So anyway, it was all bullshit to leave there. We had complete control of Afghanistan, and they basically pulled out. So did you guys make a good drug deal on that? Deep state? Because there was a lot of drugs coming out of Afghanistan. I saw that very early on. I was like, aren't we here to take out terrorists? Why are we worried about the drug trade? Yeah. So of course, when we went into Afghanistan, the poppy fields were very prolific, and they're regarded by U.S. soldiers, and the heroin epidemic exploded in the U.S. And of course, the addictions to oxycodone and all that stuff. So lots of problems with that. And is it still happening? Or, when we left Vietnam, we left the poppy fields there, the Golden Triangle. And one of the guys that worked that, he was had been an officer, Green Beret officer that had been working against the Golden Triangle stuff for the CIA, against it. Yeah, right. So he comes to where I'm at in Herat, Afghanistan, and there was a couple of us. He comes in. He didn't even know how to load his handgun. We had to show him how to load and use his handgun. This is a former Green Beret. This guy was whacked, right? I don't know if he's on drugs still or what, but he came. He's like, I need you guys to take me to where the people running the drugs are. And we're like, that's not what we do, dude. And of course, right across the border, Pakistan, where we had the DEA, had a huge organization. They shut it down. Oh, yeah. It's all planned, guys. These are very evil people, right? So, we dumped a lot of money into a lot of these places overseas: Iraq, Afghanistan, Pakistan, Yemen. And do we get anything out of it? Nada. So it's very frustrating to those of us that fought over there, dodged bullets, and then we have these knuckleheads come in and do that. So Department of Homeland Security says Jasmine Crockett signed permission slip for attacks on ICE. So this is horrific. So I think what they should start to do, and I think it's coming, is people like Jasmine Crockett and others that are saying that are doxing, giving out information on ICE and so forth. They're federal troops that are coming in and infiltrating and taking out the baddies, all right? And they don't want them to take out the baddies in their cities because that's how they get voted in. That's how they get voted in, and that's how they get paid. That's how they get millions of dollars to come into Congress. They make $150,000, whatever it is, a year. They're there for like 3 or 4 years, and they leave, and they got like multi-million-dollar, bank accounts, and they came in with like barely 100,000. Yeah, they get paid off, guys. This is complete BS by the drug trade, by the cartels. All right. So let's listen. Might have to go through a commercial. So we need to stick with the facts. 70% of those illegal.
I mean, what's going to give here? I mean, you've got Democrats out there so publicly, and what is a very heated moment of hot rhetoric that is out there. I mean, what's going to give to get Democrats to stop vilifying these ICE agents and putting their lives and their families' lives in danger every day?
Well, exactly. We need to stick with the facts. 70% of those illegal aliens who have been arrested under this administration have either prior criminal convictions or pending criminal charges against them. Just over the weekend, as Alexis mentioned, we've arrested multiple child pedophiles, multiple rapists, really the worst on America's streets. J.B. Pritzker, Brandon Johnson, who's the mayor out of Chicago, they should actually be thanking our ICE law enforcement officers and helping us get these criminal illegal aliens off the ground. Instead, they continue to.
So that was a big boy, and he resisted arrest. And see how many people it took to take him down. So that's why they have to have a lot of ICE agents come in. Now, in some of these cities where they have it's okay to be illegal alien, they have like laws that protect them. Sanctuary laws, sanctuary states, sanctuary cities. So what happens, ICE will come in and they'll arrest someone, maybe like that, that has done a pretty good crime. So one ICE agent was actually attacked. No, it was a police officer that was attacked by an illegal alien, and tried to get the police officer's gun. It was crazy. He basically was able to not get his gun taken, and eventually got this guy, handcuffed, arrested, took him in. He was released before ICE could come and get him. He was a legal alien. Almost took this police officer's gun. Who knows what he would have done with it? Probably would have shot the police officer, and maybe even gone on a rampage. You never know. So they had to send in a full SWAT team to his home because his sanctuary city let him go. And of course, when they went there, they found other people that were there that were illegal aliens, and they arrested them too. So, these criminal Democrats that are allowing these people to go free are not doing them a favor. They're getting more people arrested, which is, that's cool. We get more out. We load them on those jets that are, specifically designed to start to transport these illegal immigrants out of our country. So this woman that's talking right here she's part of ICE, Department of Homeland Security. She had a pair of people, of guys. Where does it say? Might have to go back. Nope, it's not in here. So anyway, she had a pair of guys that were twins that threatened to kill her specifically, and they arrested them. Right. So it's really getting out of control with this. These people that are doxing and attacking ICE and so forth. It's getting to that point, like I've talked about, these Democrat Confederate cities that want to start a civil war will get their civil war, but they'll just get them in their cities, right? And they will be taken down. Now, we saw the BLM, Black Lives Matter groups, with a lot of their George Floyd rioting, and they went into the suburbs. Now, militias basically formed up in the suburbs and drove them out. So if these guys start that again, we'll just militia up and we'll drive them back into the big cities, and then we'll have the drones and artillery, come up, and tanks and all that kind of stuff, and start blast the hell out of these cities, guys. That's what's going to come. So if you're in these cities, and I think that New York, Miami, Chicago, Los Angeles, not the whole city, but a good chunk of them are going to be devastated because they're going to resist, and they're going to Trump, orange man bad, and it's not about that. It's about America, right? So you're supporting overthrowing America. Ain't going to happen, right? It didn't happen during the Civil War, and it's not going to happen now in your big cities, which you think you're going to be safe in, right? So it's coming. It's coming. And like we've talked about, we'll probably get, emergency action coming, and then that will basically give federal troops free reign to come in and really start to crank down on these illegal aliens that are in our country, trying to overthrow our country, the Hamas groups, Chinese that are mixed in there, and who knows what other groups. They're going to get thrown out of our country. They're going to get driven out of our country, flown out, right? Flown out, and they'll open the door, and they're like, "Get out!" Like what? Like we're 10,000 feet up. Yeah, get out. So, no, it won't be that bad. They'll be down around 1,000 feet and over water, so that maybe they'll survive. I'm kidding. Maybe. I don't know, guys. It's really out of control. I think they need a fast turnaround. They got 6 jets that are dedicated. That's not enough. They need like 600 jets dedicated. There's so many illegal aliens in our country now. It's way, way out of control. All right, so it's way out of control even in our schools, guys. They're pushing it even into the school level. It's not just the political class. They've gone into the school system. That's why President Trump is basically taking down the Department of Education, because it's basically extremely compromised. U.S. school district lowers American flag and raises Somali flag. All right. Where do you think this is? In Minnesota? This is freaking Vermont. All right. This is Vermont. In Vermont, there was Winooski School District surrenders, removing the American flag and raising a Somalian flag in its place. This is an act of desecration. All right. So now, why do you think they're doing that? Why do you think they're just throwing open the door for these Somalis and these Samas and all these other groups? Replacement, right? They want to like replace America. They don't care about America. They're not Americans. They're Nazis, right? So average Somali IQ is 68. 68. That's pretty dumb, right? So they want a lot of dummies here, because dummies don't ask questions. They don't think for themselves. They do what they're told, barely, right? So that's why they have them. That's why they want to replace us with these low IQ people from all over the world. It's like they probably go around, it's like ask them questions, and it's like, yeah, you're pretty dumb. We want you. We're going to pay for you to come to America. When you get to America, we'll just support you, and that'll push out Americans. And of course, we're making the Americans get vaccinated, so that's going to kill them off pretty quick. You don't have to get vaccinated, but they will, right? And we're pushing that. So you're gonna be like king. You guys are gonna be like kings. We want you to go to the No King, demonstrations, but you're gonna be kings. They're like, I'm gonna be king. Yeah, you're gonna be king. And of course, they got IQ of 68. They believe it. So that's what we're seeing. They're absolutely replacing Americans with low IQ people that can barely do anything for themselves, let alone get a good job and contribute to America. So this is part of the dumbing down of America and the takeover of America. So that's why they have to be loaded onto jets and flown away and kicked out, right? On the tarmac, right? Not 10,000 feet or 1,000 feet up. No. They'll land briefly, get them all out, lock it up, come back, get some more. Keep it going. Keep it going. Keep it going. I think I saw somewhere where if every commercial jet right now started flying illegal aliens back to their countries, so that would mean we wouldn't get any more flights around the country. I'd have to drive like I do already. And so they're being flown back. It would still take years to get 20 million of them or more. I've heard as much as 50 million illegal aliens that are here. It's like, geez, that's like a quarter of the population almost. It's crazy. So 1 in 6 people that are here in America right now are illegal aliens from some sources. 1 in 6, 1 in 7. Wow, that's way too many, right? We need to narrow that down. First of all, they shouldn't have the vote. They're not American citizens, but of course they do. Mail-in ballots, all that kind of stuff. Democrats have been working this bad. Dead people, illegal aliens, people voting like multiple times are having their votes cast multiple times. They're not even, a lot of them probably don't even realize they're doing it. Right? So these Democrats are like horrific. And Republicans are not so much better, because they should be like stopping it. They say they're going to stop it and they don't do anything. Now, Huma Abedin. She was in New Jersey, and they're trying to get our Congress to appoint her as the Attorney General there in New Jersey. They wouldn't do it. They couldn't get together on it. So she had to leave. So she's a free agent right now. So I think that she would make a great Attorney General for the United States. Pam Bondi seems to be dragging her feet. We had Juan say she's part of the Bush family. And if that's the case, then she definitely needs to go bye-bye. Right? So, yeah, you've been dragging your feet on a lot of stuff. Maybe you've gotten some stuff done. We appreciate what you've done, but you have not done a lot that you should have been doing. So let's get Huma Abedin in there. Who says Huma Abedin? I say Huma Abedin. Let's go. So Huma Abedin, I think, is like, she was a firecracker. She totally supports Trump, and she got a lot of stuff done. Kept him out of prison. So I think she would like blow it away. So that's my thoughts on that. Hopefully that happens. I don't know. There's been some people that have basically come out and said that she should be the one. I'm like, I didn't even think about that. That sounds good. Let's do it. Let's get it done. And let's start taking care of business. Taking care of business. All right, guys. Did I say Huma Abedin? Yeah. Alina Habba. Alina Habba. So yeah, not whatever I said. Discount that. Alina Habba. Alina Habba. Abedin, whatever. It's like all these crazy names. All right. Alina Habba. So yes, thank you for clarifying that. So Alina Habba, you guys probably knew what I was talking about, but anyway. Actually, let me pull up the picture. So there is no question about who I'm talking about. All right. So Alina Habba. That woman, right? All right. What do they say about her? Is American lawyer and political advisor who was named acting United States Attorney for the District of New Jersey in July 2025, having previously served in an interim capacity for March 2025. Trump's former lawyer resigns as top federal prosecutor because a judge said she couldn't be there, and he was right. Sips down. So I think she would be good, but I could be wrong. I mean, I don't know her background that much. So she seems to have gotten a lot of stuff done. So yes, and Trump doesn't he doesn't put it has to be a certain standard when you're a woman in the Trump administration, I think. So yeah, she fits that standard. It's like, I'm good with it. It's like, why not have beautiful men and women that are in public office? It should be. Hillary Clinton, not so much, right? So and lots of Democrat women. I'm sure there's probably some good-looking Democrat women in there. Any of you in the chat, Democrat women? I'm gonna get in trouble here. All right, guys. Lots of love. Stand the love vibration, and I'll see you guys next time.